Hey guys, Shiko here, and today we'll be going over a guide for Blue Protocol's Dungeon, Chaotic Realm, Dark Mist Fortress Hard. The requirements for this dungeon are 3 to 5 players with an ability score of 10,930. You'll have 15 minutes for ads, and then for each attempt of the boss, 6 minutes for him. Throughout this dungeon, players will be inflicted with Void Corruption. As it fills, there will be an orb indicator as it gets close to full, and when it's full, will result in instant death. In order to prevent players from reaching 100% Void Corruption, they'll need to interact with these Void Cleansers in order to cleanse all players' Void Corruption within the area. Aside from this mechanic, ads are pretty straightforward. When you reach the boss room, you'll notice that there will be 2 cleansers found in the northeast and the southwest corners of the room. They will periodically reset as the fight persists, so players should use them throughout the fight in order to cleanse corruption. The first mechanic the boss will cast will be Void Corruption Mark. A random player will be marked for an imprint which will cause damage and leave a corruption puddle wherever the AoE is placed. Standing in the puddle will increase your Void Corruption and deal damage to the player. Puddles persist until the end of the fight, so marked players should bring them to the edge of the arena to drop them. Once enough damage is dealt, the boss will become invulnerable and begin his Void Corruption Cleave. If the cleave is successful, the party will gain 100% corruption, resulting in a wipe. In order to prevent this, the tank should head to the middle of the arena to interact with the shield, where they'll continuously click to block the cleave. During this time, Void Corruption orbs will spawn at the edge of the arena heading towards the tank. Since the tank is slowly getting corruption from the cleave, these orbs must not touch the tank. Instead, players should intercept these orbs so that they do not come in contact with the tank. Additionally, there will also be yellow orbs that spawn that will head towards the tank. Anyone who comes in contact with these yellow orbs will have all of their Void Corruption cleansed. Since the tank is gaining corruption from the cleave, they will eventually die if the orbs do not reach them, resulting in a wipe, so players should not intercept these and let them reach the tank. Now the boss will transform and begin Phase 2. At this point, I recommend activating a cleanser so the slate is clean for the next mechanics ahead. Upon entering Phase 2, the boss will create a rift down the middle of the arena. Whenever a player crosses this line, it will cause minor raid-wide damage as well as add 10 extra points to corruption to each player. So take caution to cross only when necessary. At some point during the fight, the boss will corrupt half of the arena, making it unusable. If the party is on the same side as this mechanic, players will want to group up together and cross the rift together so that only one raid-wide is distributed to the entire group. The next mechanic of this fight is called Void Corruption Decay. 2 random players will be marked with proximity markers, and after a short time, will erupt, dealing massive damage to players who are close to them. The farther the other players are from the proximity markers, the less damage they'll receive. In order to resolve this mechanic and mitigate damage as much as possible, one marked player should go north and the other south, while the rest of the party stays close to middle until the proximity markers explode. The boss will cast Void Corruption Thrust. This is a simple line AoEs that you just have to dodge. The next mechanic you'll see is called Void Corruption Waltz. Huge circular AoEs will originate from the middle of the arena and spiral outwards before detonating. They'll explode in the order in which they appeared, so players should dodge as getting hit by one will increase the Void Corruption bar by 33%. And the last mechanic for this fight is Void Corruption Fracture. This is a tank buster that will incapacitate the tank, lift the tank up, and slam the tank behind him. So tanks take care of where you're positioning boss so you don't get slammed into where you don't want to be. And just be cautious that Void Corruption Mark will reappear in Phase 2, so just bring these out into the edge of the arena. And with that, that concludes our guide. Hopefully you enjoyed, and as always, have a great day!